Okay, we are almost done with Alice. This is going to be our last construction video, which is so exciting. I'm literally so thrilled to be finishing up this costume, and I think it looks so good. So today we're just going to be doing up some finishing kind of stuff. We have lots of accessories. So mostly we're going to be covering the shoes, the jewelry, and the gloves. And the shoes and gloves are pretty straightforward. They're just going to be a fairly normal construction of gloves. And then the shoes, I am literally just going to be sticking some bows and straps onto these shoes. So as you can tell, these are black and not blue. Alice's shoes are blue in the illustration, and the velvet that I'm going to be using for the bows and the straps is also blue. However, we're just gonna live with it and hope Photoshop can do its magic, because I already own way too many shoes. I didn't want to buy a new pair just for this costume because it's not really a color that I wear normally. And I didn't want to destroy a pair of my shoes by covering it in velvet, so we're just gonna make do with these. I also use these for a couple of other cosplays, so they need to stay in their current condition. So the bows are just gonna clip on to the front. That's the plan for the shoes, is literally just a clip-on bow, and then the straps will just wrap around my leg and probably not even be connected to the shoe. The gloves, I'm gonna be constructing like leather gloves. This is the pattern I've got for the gloves, and I'll link that in the description. I just got it off of someone's blog. And this is, I think, technically a leather glove pattern, because it's got the separate thumb piece right here, and it's got separate little pieces that go in between the fingers. I don't think I actually need to do that for this fabric because it's stretchy, but it's kind of like the nice way to make gloves, so I'm gonna do that. And then finally for the jewelry, Alice has a necklace, and she has kind of like this weird belt jewelry stuff. I don't know, she's got some dangly stuff hanging off the bottom of the bodice. I don't think it looks very nice personally, so I'm actually gonna change that concept entirely. And I did a lot of research into chatelaines. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't speak any French at all, so I could be wrong. I'm thinking instead that I'll just make a chatelaine that I can pin to the bottom of my bodice or like on the skirt or something, and use items that take symbolic imagery from the story and the movies and whatever, and put that on the chatelaine instead of what is normally on a chatelaine, which is like useful household Victorian lady items. And I thought that instead of making one that is like not really super thematic to Alice, I'm gonna make one that uses the motifs from the story. So that's my little creative input into this costume. And then finally for the necklace, that's just going to be a pretty straightforward necklace. I haven't figured out how I'm going to put it together yet. I'll probably just use some cording or something. I don't really want to do a full using jump rings and everything, if that makes sense. I don't know, that might end up being what I do, but we'll get there when we get there. I think each of these projects should go pretty quickly, so that's why I put them all into one video. I was originally gonna do two, but I have some fun plans for October, so I wanted to make sure I got the full amount of weeks in October to bring you a fun Halloween series, but we'll get to that later, okay? So first I'm gonna work on the gloves, because those are the most straightforward out of all the projects, so let's get started on that. This is my glove pattern, and like I mentioned before, it's technically a leather glove pattern because it's got this separate thumb piece here, and it's got these separate in-between finger pieces there. And usually use this for a non-stretch. My material is stretchy, so I don't technically need to use this, but I wanted to because normally when you make stretch gloves, at least in cosplay, the way that you make stretch gloves is you spread your fingers out really, really wide and then trace around it, and then you've got your pattern. However, because this fabric has dots all over it, if I do that, then the dots are going to be skewed. So like I won't get them quite lined up. And so it'll look really obvious that this was cut with my fingers like at all odd angles, rather than this pattern where all of the dots will make a nice line because this is getting cut in a nice line. So that's why I've decided to do that, even though it's more work and is going to create more of a headache for myself. Hopefully it goes okay, and we'll see. Is that a cute girl? Where are you going? Where are you going? Meow. Meow. Hello. Oh, a fluffy girl. Look at those cute toes. So cute. No. So I left the outer side on the wristband part open so that I can get my wrist into it, because this velvet is the stuff that I used for the rest of the costume. It's not stretchy at all, so I just left it open, and now I can just hook it. Theoretically I can hook it. It's a little hard to do on my own. There we go. And I can just hook it like that, and it'll close on my wrist, and then I won't have to like try to shove my hand into it and potentially break the glove. I gotta be honest, this is the only reveal I'm gonna do of the glove outside of like the full costume reveal, because these gloves are not my prettiest work ever. This fabric was super delicate and my machine was not having it at all. Plus, I thought that the glove pattern was going to be too long for my fingers, as glove patterns usually are, so I sized it down, and now it's a little too short. But that's okay, it's not a huge deal, and I don't think it's really noticeable when like my hands are at rest like this. It's only like when they're like this, and I don't know, when am I ever going to be posing like this? I'm not, so like this, it looks totally fine, and I'm not concerned about it. This stuff is really not the prettiest of seams, but I'm not really sure what else I could have done, because like this fabric is just very like this. It got sucked into my machine a couple of times, so that was super fun trying to like pull it out and not rip everything. It did rip a couple times, so I had to mend those holes, but it's done, and that's what counts. So let's move on to the shoes. Oh, if you have any tips for gloves and making them less painful and horrible, then let me know. Thanks. Day 2 of Alice's accessories. Today we're going to be working on the necklace and the earrings there. Yesterday we worked on the shoes and the gloves, and that went okay-ish. I have a general plan for the necklace, and the earrings worked out. The earrings, I think I'm just going to construct like normal earrings with wire and everything. The necklace is a little bit more complicated. If you can see, she has, it looks like a lot of gems suspended between two strips of velvet that match the rest of the costume, and those are surrounded by pearls and whatever else crap. And then there's some strung pearls and some other stuff hanging down. The strung pearls and everything I can just do like normal and like put them on a thread or whatever, and then the rest of the stuff I'll do some wire loop kind of jewelry techniques, which you'll see. For the choker part of it, I think I'm going to use some mesh illusion. This is Italian tulle from B&J fabric. This matches my skin really well. So I went to B&J and I held a bunch of the colors up to my own body and like my face and picked the one that most closely matched and just bought a bunch of it. So what I'll do is I'll cut a strip of this and then put the two strips of velvet on either side of the strip of Italian tulle, and then I'm going to sew everything that is like on the in-between part directly to this tool, and that'll make it look like it's just kind of floating on my neck, which is cool, and it's less likely to break than jewelry since I'll be wearing this as a costume and I'll be moving around and like doing stuff in it, and it's not just like I'm gonna stand in front of the gala and look nice for the paparazzi, because you know that's my life. It'll just make it easier to construct and easier to transport it and a lot more secure. So that's the plan for that part of it. And then for the velvet, I'll just cut some strips of velvet and bind around it. Hopefully it won't be too bulky. Got my gems lined up here. I'm gonna stitch these on. They're not really the right shape. These are more teardrop shaped than oval, but this is what I had. I didn't buy enough of the stuff I used for the tiara, so this is what we've got. And then I've got the other gems kind of lined up here, and I think this is what I'm going to use. So these will get stitched directly to the Italian tool after I've bound it with the velvet, and then I'll stitch some pearls to the top and bottom of the velvet, and then I'm going to attach all of the strung pearls and these beads to the bottom using more traditional jewelry techniques. I've gotten the main part of the necklace done, so like the charcoal part is done, and I've stuck little hooks and eyes on the ends here, and this like beaded strand is done. So all that's left now is the pendant-y kind of stuff that hangs down the middle. Still kind of figuring out, excuse me, these two are being very rowdy. Anyways, so I've got just the pendant part left to do, and I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do for that, but I think instead of using thread like obviously I had to do for all this sewn part, I'm going to use wire and I don't know, try to make some eye loops or whatever. I don't know, you'll see what I do as I'm doing it. Cool. So for the earrings, I'm kind of just going to go off design from what she has drawn because I don't have anything that resembles a spade or a club for earrings. So I'm just going to make some drop earrings that will match the necklace. I'm going to use the same teardrop gem that I used at the very bottom of the necklace, some of the other teardrops that were on other parts of the costume, and then some bicones, and it'll be pretty simple. The other thing that's going to be kind of not correct is I'm going to be using gold earring loops because I don't have silver ones and I don't want to have to go out and buy any. So it's not really gonna match the silver that is on the rest of the jewelry, but it'll be in my ears, so hopefully it won't be very visible. tried the earrings on really quick and I think they're a little bit too long, so I'm just going to take out this middle drop here. So if you look at the drawing, Alice has a, I don't know, a charm or something underneath the center front of the bodice. I don't really like how it looks, and making it seems like it's going to be a pain, so I don't want to do that. Instead, I thought maybe I'd go with something a little bit more historical and make a chatelaine. Again, I don't speak French. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I assume it's French, maybe it's not. But chatelaine has basically been around since ancient Rome, apparently, and it's just kind of a decorative belt where women can hang items that are useful for the household or for whatever, really, on their bodies. So in Victorian times, they had things such as sewing kits, so like scissors and needles and thimbles and keys and, I don't know, like little coin purses. They could have a variety of things. I thought it would be more fun to make one of those and do it themed based on Alice in Wonderland. I have assembled some items here, and this is just a spoon from our silverware. It's gotten a little bit beat up in my parents' garbage disposal over the years, so it is not the most comfortable to eat with, but I thought that would be a good thing to put on my belt because she eats a lot of cake. Spoons, cake, you know, makes sense, I guess. I've got this little bottle here that I got from Fire Mountain Gems because of the little drink me potion. I'm a little concerned about the stability of these bottles though. I had a package of 4 and I dropped the whole package on the ground and 2 of them broke. 2 of them survived though, so maybe it'll be fine. I don't plan on dropping them at any point. I'll just have to be extra careful when I pack it, I guess. And then I've got a key because obviously she goes through a lot of little doors. So a key for doors. And then I've got the paintbrush for painting the roses red. And I was thinking of maybe splashing some red paint on this rather than the black paint that's on this right now. But this is just like, it's seen better days, so it can be repurposed for this. And then the last thing was that I found a little stopwatch on Fire Mountain Gems as well. It's super cute. It's got an owl on it, which is not really the most congruent with the story, but there's a couple owls in the animated movie, right? So that makes it fine. But the stopwatch for the White Rabbit's little stopwatch. So those are my 5 items I'm going to stick on there, and I'm just going to make the chatelaine and put these on here. I also got some other stuff from Fire Mountain Gems. It was kind of hard to find like findings to put on this thing. I've got this little piece which I can suspend the objects off of, and then I also got a whole bunch of these heart-shaped things. I guess I could have used this for the earring, but it's not really, this is more silver than the blue of her actual drawn earrings, so oh well. The earrings are made, they're not getting redone. So I was thinking I'll start it off like this and then maybe like hang 2 pieces off like this and then add some more things and hang them all off. We're just kind of winging it, it'll be fine. I do realize that these are all different metals, and normally for chatelaines they would be all the same metal, but I don't have the time or the money to source all of that, so we're gonna go with a little mismatched because Alice is a little bit mismatched sometimes. That's the plan, so let's get started with that. Because this glass bottle is kind of fragile, I was a little bit worried about it breaking. So I made it so it can detach, so I can pack it separately. So if it breaks, it's not breaking on top of everything else. Or if I'm like in a cosplay video at a con and I don't know, the videographer wants me to do something like crawling or something, if I can crawl in this dress, I can just take this off for that shot so it doesn't bump against the ground. Thank you guys for watching. This is as much of a reveal as I'm gonna do this time because next week I'm gonna be doing a big video showcasing the entire costume. So I figured I'd build some suspense or something. I also wanted to make the disclaimer that I am by no means an expert in jewelry making or glove making, I guess. I took one jewelry class through all of grad school and I had never had any experience making jewelry like the right way before that. So I have a very basic knowledge. What are you doing? I have a very basic knowledge of jewelry and I am absolutely by no means an expert. I am so much more confident in my sewing skills than in my jewelry skills. So I probably didn't do everything correctly and that's okay. Do you want that, honey? Okay. Please don't break anything. So that's my disclaimer, and hopefully even if it's not like perfect or anything, it was still interesting and maybe you got something out of it, maybe you didn't. If you want to tell me if I did anything wrong besides like the obvious, I know that my eye pins are not very good. I'm really bad at getting them to be like a nice circle and having like the pin part go directly down the middle. I know, I'm working on it. And then also like the non-matching metals I am super aware of, but I wanted to film this video and like get stuff done without having to go shopping, so it's fine. I don't really think it's that visible, and if it is, oh well, I guess. So that's pretty much it for today. This is not like my best work in this video, but I'm so happy that I'm finally getting everything done and like, wow, that's it, everything's done. So I'm really happy that even if not everything is perfect, it is done. And you know, like I like to view all of this as a learning process, and well, I've had a lot of training in a lot of very specific things. I'm still learning, so you know, we do what we can. I really hope you guys enjoyed this whole like journey and everything. I am hoping to do it again with another project in a couple months, but next couple projects are going to be a little bit smaller. So hopefully you'll still stick with me then. We'll have another really big project from undergarments all the way to like small things like the jewelry in a few months, because I'll be making something for Katsucon, and then hopefully Katsucon doesn't get canceled. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this series, I guess give it a thumbs up. Let me know. If you like more short form kind of sewing videos, also let me know. This was kind of my first try at a really like month long series. I like this format a lot more because it makes working a lot easier. It makes it so that I can put out videos every week and I don't have to be like killing myself trying to finish a big project in a week or in 2 weeks. This really helps with making it everything more manageable. So I hope you guys like it too. If not, let me know. And if you have suggestions for what you would prefer to see instead, if you don't like this form, then let me know. Baby bat. She's about ready to be fed though. She still has 40 minutes, so I don't know what she's yelling about. If you want to see more of my projects in the future, and if you want to see the reveal of all of my costume, then please subscribe and stick around. I'm really happy whenever you guys say you like my work and you like my videos. It just makes my heart warm. So I hope you guys stick around, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!